What's going on, you guys? Keith Carnes here. It is officially Sunday, and that means only one thing on this channel. It's time for a new episode of Unsolved Mystery Talk. Now, of course, today we're taking a look this week at another rapper's death that has yet to be solved, and that is, of course, Christopher Wallace, otherwise known as the Notorious B.I.G., a very controversial rapper in his own right who was gunned down and killed in 1997, under a year after Tupac's shooting in Las Vegas. Of course, Biggie Smalls, got his fame by being a rapper, and mainly got pushed to the top by his good friend and personal manager, P-Diddy, formerly known as P-Diddy, now just known as Sean Combs, and shot to the top. Definitely had some really cool, good hits. Personally, I personally like some of his music. He definitely had a hell of a career ahead of him, but unfortunately, I think he only lived to see one or two of his releases, and died before the final release was. He didn't live to see the final release. Actually, I want to say he lived to see one, and he died before his second album came out. So that just shows you how early it was before he was really, really big, that he really got cut down at the start of his career. Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls, if you will, was definitely an up-and-comer in the rap world, hip-hop world. Went on later to have a big feud with former best friend Tupac Shakur. Well, I wouldn't say he was his best friend, but really good friend Tupac Shakur, who kind of looked out for Biggie when Biggie first came onto the scene. And because Tupac was under the impression that Biggie tried to have him killed, that's still an unsolved mystery in itself, whether Biggie was truly behind Tupac's attempted murder or not, the one that he survived. So they went through their, battle. Of course, Tupac released the song Hit 'Em Up, which is a complete and very, very strong diss to Biggie Smalls, talking about, doing his wife, having sex with his wife, who at the time was Little Kim, dissing on all kinds of stuff about Biggie and his whole, Bad Boy records and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Biggie was later gunned down in early 1997. He was shot in his green Chevrolet Suburban, and I believe he died in the hospital later on. I don't think he died on the scene. I could be wrong. And to this day, it remains unsolved. A lot of people like to obviously affiliate it with probably the West Coast versus East Coast battle that was going on between, Tupac and Biggie, at the time of their feud before, Tupac was taken out and then Biggie was officially killed. Biggie was representing the East Coast, while Tupac was all about the West Side, as anybody would know who's fans of that kind of music and entertainment. Later on, Biggie would, come out to California, and he I believe it was here in Sacramento where I live, and he was booed pretty heavily, but he didn't give a shit, and then he was killed. He wasn't killed here in Sacramento, I'm just saying not long after that he was killed. A lot of people like to say it was related to that, but of course nobody really knows. My personal opinion on Biggie's unsolved mystery death, I would definitely have to label it that the police really just don't care to solve it. I think, and that's not with everything, but I think honestly the way it goes is it's obvious what it was. It was obviously a hate crime. It was obviously related to probably some kind of a gang. And let's face it, it probably really wasn't a hard murder case to solve. It's just a matter that, Biggie, he did, in all fairness, sing about, being anti-cop, just like Tupac Shakur was, fuck the police and that whole attitude. So when you have these people talking about the police in such a negative manner, and then it's up to the police to find out who murdered them, it's not really surprising when the cops, supposedly come up with nothing. you know, you got to read between the lines. And I think it's purposely left unsolved simply because cops don't give a shit. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But yeah, you know, that's really it. Yeah, he was murdered. He was shot to death. People to this day don't know who it was. I'm sure there are some speculations, but in the end, there's no actual confirmation. I know this one was pretty brief. There's not a lot of detail to go into it. Sorry about that. It's just pretty cut and dry what happened. You know, he was shot down very similar to Tupac, and he died. And it remains unsolved today. Maybe someday they'll find somebody, but I really doubt it. Anyway, this is the Keith Carnes. If you enjoyed this episode, thank you very much for viewing. And if you have any suggestions, as always, you guys, I love hearing them. Lay them on me. And thank you to all 89 subscribers. You guys mean the world to me. And I hope to see you guys on tomorrow's episode of Is It Real? I'll see you guys later. Peace.